Sue Gray, the veteran civil servant who presided over criticism of Boris Johnson, has been a contentious figure in British politics, particularly since her move from the senior role in the civil service to becoming Keir Starmer's chief of staff. Her transition into this political position has raised eyebrows, given her previous position as the key investigator into Partygate. And Keir Starmer's defence of Gray, asserting that public servants like her should not be the subject of public scrutiny, seems to miss the point of criticism that's been levelled against her. Anybody who is involved in the public management of our country in public office should be open to scrutiny. The main issue here is not about whether public servants should be shielded from public debate, but rather about the appropriateness of Gray's transition from a civil service role to a politically charged platform. And traditionally, the British civil service prides itself on impartiality, and the swift move from a supposedly neutral civil service position to a partisan role risks undermining that impartiality. And critics argue that this shift could blur the lines between the civil service and political spheres, potentially eroding public trust in the neutrality of civil servants. What does a SPAD do? Is a SPAD a civil servant, or is a SPAD a political appointment? What is a SPAD? Why are they paid so much? And why do they seem to be above scrutiny, beyond scrutiny? Starmer's dismissal of criticism as misplaced overlooks several legitimate concerns. First, Gray's significant salary as Chief of Staff has sparked questions about priorities and optics, especially in a context where many public servants feel underpaid, undervalued, overworked. Her salary, reportedly higher than the Prime Minister's by a few pounds, can be perceived as excessive and out of touch, particularly during a period of economic hardship, austerity in all but name, for many in this country. Second, there are lingering concerns about the manner in which Gray has exercised her influence in her new role. Reports of her dominating internal discussions and controversies around her potential hiring decisions have raised doubts about her suitability for a role that requires not just political acumen, but also an ability to work collaboratively and impartially. This is particularly troubling given that her previous role demanded strict adherence to neutrality and to non-partisanship. Moreover, Starmer's assertion that such issues should not be discussed publicly is problematic in a democratic context. Public debate and scrutiny are fundamental components of a healthy democracy, and if that scrutiny is not done by the civil service itself or by the politicians themselves, then it falls to the third estate, to the media, to do that job. And if the mainstream media, as people like Maya Tusi would call it, cannot do that job, then it falls to citizen journalists to do it, as Tommy Robinson would call them. When public servants take on highly influential roles, particularly within the government, it is essential that their actions and the terms of their employment are transparent and open to scrutiny. Shielding them from debate only leads to accusations of a lack of accountability, and it builds mistrust. It fuels mistrust. And Starmer's defence fails to address the broader context of dissatisfaction within the Labour Party ranks. And the unionisation of Labour advisers, a reaction to perceived inequalities and dissatisfaction with pay and contracts, indicates deeper issues within Starmer's leadership and the party's internal dynamics. By focusing solely on defending Gray, Starmer risks ignoring these broader structural and morale issues, which could have a long-term implication for Labour's effectiveness and unity. He cannot bask simply in the fact that he's got a large majority. Nobody gets on in life bragging about how large his advantage might be. In conclusion, while Keir Starmer's right to advocate respect towards civil servants, towards public servants, his dismissal of criticism towards Sue Gray is misplaced, and he misses the nuanced issues at play. is not just about attacking Grey personally, but about addressing valid concerns regarding the implications of her role. The potential erosion of civil service impartiality, the internal discontent within the Labour Party. By sidestepping these concerns, Starmer inadvertently exacerbates the issues rather than resolving them.